And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. We are back. We are fresh. We are ready to go. And yeah, sorry for running a lot of rebroadcasts, mainly because it's football season in the thick of things. And, you know, the Vikings. Here's what I want to know. Like, it's a little unfortunate that Muggsy is slightly too young, right? She's about 2.5, going to be 3 in June, and she's just missing this. And I am actually sort of jealous of parents. We got some friends where their kids are, you know, in that 12 to 15 type age where this is really big. And also one of them, you know, my good buddy Sean Jensen's kid, like they're going to the Super Bowl. Like win, lose, or draw. Actually, no, don't tell anyone, but the kid's actually not even a Vikings fan. He's a Patriots fan. But yeah, just imagine like he's going to remember that for the rest of his life, right? And just the Minnesota area families, whether or not the Vikings make the Super Bowl, hopefully they do, you know, clearly. But even if they don't, just going down and being around that energy that's going to be around the Super Bowl, US Bank Stadium, downtown Minneapolis. And I think people, these kids, I mean, it's just really important to go out and get them these experiences that are going to stick with them for a long time. Because think about things that still leave an impression on you. Like, I still remember vividly going to the circus when I was 6 years old. And you think it's something so trivial and nonchalant. And I think we're just like given tickets through like the local radio station or whatever. But I remember La Crosse Civic Center. And I think it was the Ringling Brothers. Or it might have been Barnum and Bailey's. Or it doesn't really matter. But I remember we had first row seats, and I remember riding an elephant, still have the picture, and it was just something that just stays with you as a good, fun memory. And I think as parents, we sort of underrate or forget that these kids are going to remember all of these things, right? And I don't know. It's always a fun thing. Wish Muggsy was a little bit older, because then I take her down to like all the Super Bowl experience type stuff, and throw the football and run a 40-yard dash against Tyreek Hill. But hopefully Tyreek Hill's not here, because that would be less than ideal. And I don't know. It's going to be fun, because also the Super Bowl is never coming back. Super Bowl's not coming back unless the Vikings build a new stadium, but that's really neither here nor there. But talking about kids' memories and impressions today, and just sort of emptying out the mailbag of what Muggs has been up to lately, the My Little Ponies. My Little Ponies, friends. They've taken over. They have dominated, and it's a cool show. And if Netflix ever removes it from their instant play, I don't know what I would do, because Margaret, she loved Moana for a while. She loved Frozen. She loved Curious George, like the entire PBS run through. But now it's ponies. Sophia the first, she had a really big Sophia phase. Yeah, it's funny, a kid that's 30 months old has phases already. Yeah, it's weird, but the ponies is where it's at. And here's the thing about the ponies is that, because I remember it as a kid, and it was just very cartoonish, and it was almost like the Precious Moments dolls, where they had like the oversized eyes, and every storyline was super saccharine and sweet. But if you ever just sit down and actually like watch an episode of My Little Ponies, they're actually pretty good. I feel like the writing staff on there could be writing for any like major sitcom, like The Good Place or Modern Family or whatever, and like they got some chops. Like the storylines are well put together. The story arcs really tie up, whether it be the A or the B storyline, and they do. See, this is what Hollywood does with Pixar movies that are really great, or like Despicable Me. Like they'll slide in adultish jokes where the kid's not going to get it. Like it's going to go right over the kid's head, and not just because they're 2.5 feet tall, but the humor won't get it, but it'll entertain the parents. Like I feel like every Pixar movie, every movie like that where parents are, all right, so we're taking the kids to the movies, we're going to the matinee, blah blah blah. I feel like it's because the movies are made by adults and more probably likely parents, so they try to sneak things in. Where if you can get the parents to go, heh, like 4 times during that hour and a half, you've done your job. And I feel like that's trickled down to My Little Ponies on TV, because there will be times where I will chuckle on an episode. Now, I don't watch fully intently, but I think I know the character. So Twilight Sparkle is the main one. And then there's Rarity, who's a unicorn and who's also very vain. There's Shutterfly, who's the yellow one. A Rainbow. I thought Rainbow Dash was the most important one. It seems like it. But apparently that is not the case. Then what else? There's Applejack. It's funny how kids choose favorites with all the stuffed animals. So we have all 6 of the main characters of My Little Pony, and then also we have some ancillary ones as well. And Muggsy loves the hell out of the Twilight Sparkle one, and she even has it wear a cape. And it's very important because you can't go anywhere without Twilight Sparkle, and you can't go anywhere without Twilight Sparkle's cape, except the cape is just a dish towel, like a straight up like IKEA dish towel that she just carries around. And it's so funny because you have to tie the edges of the dish towel to it, otherwise she gets really upset. Yeah, that's how she rolls. But her least favorite is Applejack. So every time that we play ponies, she takes all the other 5, and she really likes Twilight Sparkle. She really likes Rainbow Dash. She really likes Rarity, even though she calls her Mia for some reason. And then she's like, "Here, Daddy, you be Applejack." I'm like, "Why do I have to be Applejack? Nobody likes Applejack." I'm like, "Hi, I'm Applejack, and I'm the one that talks like this." I don't know, but it is really cool how in depth she gets into it, and the show has life lessons and stuff. We haven't watched the movie yet. Apparently, the movie came out as like a big, wide release, but we haven't bought it yet. I probably should do that sometime. But yeah, it's something that she's latched onto, and she's got all the ponies. She has a pony playhouse. She has a pony train, with all like the miniature ponies now. And it's all ponies. Oh, she's got a big shout out to her Aunt Ashley. She's got a pony's dress, or it's like one of those things where it's like the skirt attached to the shirt, so you just slide it on like a muumuu. It's got like a Rainbow Dash on it. She loves that thing. Yeah, it's awesome. But I don't know. We'll see what is next. But to be honest, I like the ponies. It's an entertaining show, and it's a historic brand. And all the Thai Beanie Babies are super collectible, even though they're kind of cheap. Remember when Beanie Babies were a thing? Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like fully invested in Beanie Babies. Like, what was the most rare one? The Princess Di one, and that thing was going for like thousands of bucks, and all of a sudden the market just dropped out on it. I mean, it happens. Like it happened to baseball cards. Because growing up, me and baseball cards and basketball, football cards, they were really big. That was my thing. And see, my most prized card was I had a Michael Jordan rookie card. And what I think it was Fleer. Might have been, was it Upper Deck? Doesn't really matter. But the thing for me is that we buy Beckett. Whenever Beckett would come out, usually quarterly, and then you look up the price of your cards, like, oh, it had the value of every single card. Now, this Jordan card was mint, like completely minted up, and I would watch the value rise. I was like, oh, a couple hundred. Oh, it's into the thousands. Oh, here we go. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember when, but it was like the mid-'90s, the market just died. Like, I don't even like the big collectibles are still collectible, but it's still, even with inflation, a fraction of what it used to be. And I mean, there used to be like a great secondary market of all these cards. I don't know if it's just the market being flooded as there is more supply, there's less demand, and I don't know. Just kind of weird. That's what happened to Beanie Babies. That's probably what's going to happen to My Little Ponies. But also something that's going to happen to you is your life is going to be really disorganized. Especially you got kids, everyone's schedule is coming and going. And here's the big thing with me and our family is that we always try to have dinner together when possible, whenever I'm not, working nights, doing shows for the radio stuff. And yeah, that takes time. That takes organization and also meal planning, because even though I'm a pretty good cook, I always need some new ideas. Here's where Picnic comes in. PICNIIC. You can share a calendar. You can add to-do list, assign them to particular members of the family, maybe a couple of ne'er-do-wells. You can add a grocery shopping list. You can have there's a recipe section, a meal planner, so everyone knows what's coming up. It's like, oh, chicken cordon bleu is coming up on Thursday. Ooh, Taco Tuesday. Hello. It's the easiest way to organize everyone, because even like younger kids, like I know 6-year-old kids who have an iPhone, so everyone is on their phone, everyone is on their tablets. Sync it up all in one place with the best app out there. It's really been a stress reliever and time saver for us at the Carlson household. So here's what you do: go to picnic.com, PICNIIC.com/get started, and set up your account. Use a promo code PODPIC, PODPIC. You get 30 days of Picnic Premium for free. So try out the premium. Again, promo code PODPIC, PODPIC, and you'll see how easy it is to get organized and how much it relieves stress and just makes for a happier household. It really does. Again, picnic.com/get started. Picnic is spelled PICNIIC.com. Promo code PODPIC, 30 days, Picnic Premium, free. Get it. So it's pretty clear that Muggsy's third birthday theme is going to be ponies. I think the second one was princess, and the first one was like zoo animals, something but benign and kind of blah. But third one's gonna be ponies. But here's my thing: like, phases come and go, but it's always so weird when you see older kids or even adults that are still obsessed with the thing they're obsessed at when they were 2 or 3. And I'm not going to be rating on Margaret's parade. I'm not going to be shutting off ponies and making her watch C-SPAN or anything like that. But I don't know, like, if she's still like really hardcore into ponies, needs to watch ponies all the time, needs all of the pony plushies with her when she goes to bed or when she's going to daycare or whatever, or needs to wear pony shirts when she's like 6 or 7, that's when it gets kind of weird. That's when it gets a little unhealthy, doesn't it? But I don't know, because I feel like kids, the phases do come and go. Because I remember when I was a kid, it was Power Rangers all the time, and then it went to G.I. Joe, and then it was a really big Batman phase as well. I think that's a little bit healthier, because that means that you're able to evolve and change as a person, as a human. And I think that's a good quality to have. Not that you're like a bandwagon person, or you like shift your morals around, but the fact that you're adaptable and you're open to new things, to open your mind and your point of view. I think that's a pretty healthy way to go about things. And I think it does go back to like a micro version of this, when kids are into like ponies or into power. Like, if I'm a 32-year-old man who's still obsessed with Power Rangers, I think that would be an issue. I think that would be like some deep-rooted psychological issue. But no, it went from G.I. Joe to Power Rangers to Batman to girls to women to booze, back to women, still back to booze, and then here we are today. Now I'm into barbecuing and meats and stuff. But it's good. And it really bugged me too. Like, when you remember Extreme Makeover Home Edition? Because the show started out as Extreme Makeover, and they would take these maybe more homely people, and all of a sudden it would be like a full-on extreme makeover. They'd lose weight, they get some minor plastic surgery, they get dolled up, they'd get with a major stylist and completely change, and then at the end, the person comes out and the family was like, "Oh, I don't even recognize you anymore." Yeah, it's crazy. But then the home edition came along, so that's why they put in the colon, because Extreme Makeover went away because everyone saw it for what it was, as being extremely vain and narcissistic. But Extreme Makeover colon home edition came along, and that was even worse. I mean, the homes that these people put up for the families were usually poor, not really well-off families, but sticking them with a brand new, like, extremely high property tax bill. It was just insane. It was absolutely insane. Like, a lot of families had to sell the house whether because they wanted to make a quick buck or because they couldn't afford the utilities or the new property taxes. And what bugged me all the time is that, oh, hey, I'm Ty Pennington. I'm Ty Pennington. And they'll just latch on to one idea that the kid has. Like, like the 6-year-old kid's like, hey, 6-year-old kid, what do you like? Well, I like pizza. I like chicken nuggets. Mermaids are okay. It's like, wow, I heard that you love mermaids. And like they would have a complete under the sea, like mermaid themed bedroom for the 6-year-old kid. Yeah, like everything's like, oh, we have a mermaid train that goes around your room too. It's like everything's mermaid. It looks like the fantasy room and like the honeymoon suite if the person has like a mermaid or like a Neptune fetish. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the 6-year-old kid's like, okay, I mean, this is cool for what you're doing for our family and all, but I just mentioned in passing that I sort of like mermaids, whatever. Then the kid is out of mermaids by the time that they're 7, but they're still stuck with that room because they can't afford renovations. And by the time the kid is 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, she's got boys coming over and they're like, whoa, you really like mermaids? No, I really don't. We just haven't had time to change it or the money. Yeah. So that bugged me. So I don't know how we started, but yeah, we'll see what Muggsy wants to do. Like, if she wants a My Little Pony wall or something like that, I don't know. That could get kind of weird. But, I'm sure that there's traveling tours of, like, My Little Ponies on ice. Like, that would be a lot of fun. Because, what is coming to the X? I mean, there's something kid-related that's going to be on ice. I feel like it might be, like, Charlie... Oh, no, Daniel Tiger? Maybe. But, no, like... bring it full circle back to like those performances. Like I'm looking forward to like when Muggsy's a little bit older, and then we go see her, a show of her favorite thing at like the Target Center or the XL Energy Center, or hell, even US Bank Stadium. Like maybe it will be a giant like blown out, teased out event, and that'll be fun because once she's in that wheelhouse of being able to remember stuff, like she'll talk about it. Like when we get together at family get-togethers or like the holidays and like her future siblings, and it'll be like, oh, do you remember XYZ? She'll be like, yeah, absolutely. That was amazing. Dad spilled popcorn on me. It's like, what? Yeah, well, it's your fault because every 2 seconds you're just trying to get into my popcorn and I can't have any popcorn. I'm a grown-ass man at a Miley Cyrus concert. Why can't I have any popcorn? Yeah, that is all. Also, a great thing about those little like tween concerts is that they will usually have at least one beer place open for the parents, and it's always empty. It is. I mean, that is always great, and that is the name of the game, isn't it? That's how we're rolling. But that's a loose collection of thoughts on how Muggsy is rolling now into My Little Ponies, and hopefully moves on to other interests as well. Subscribe to the show, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and dadmodepod.com is the website. But until next time, be a dad, be a father, go dad mode, and we'll smell you later.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.